Well, Charlotte Vere is with me now, and we're joined by the Labour MP and Shadow Treasury Minister Angela Eagle, who was famously told in the Commons earlier this year to calm down, dear, by the Prime Minister. A bid for the women's vote, no doubt. But, I mean, the serious point here is that the Conservatives have got a plan to offer a number of things in the hope of attracting women voters, which presumably you can't really disagree with. Cutting school summer holidays is one possibility, banning advertising aimed at children, front-loading child benefit, more women in corporate boards. I mean, you can't disagree with any of that, can you?
Well, I think it's window dressing to cover up a much bigger problem that they're beginning to realise that they've got with women, that millions of women up and down the country know that they've got with this government. And that is that the cuts agenda is being aimed at them more than other people, that more money is being taken from women and children. For example, in George Osborne's cuts to benefits and support than tax increases on the banks who caused a lot of the economic troubles in the first place. We know from when we get nasty little glimpses of what people really think that there's really quite an anti-women approach to this government. We had the University Minister, David Willetts, blaming women for the lack of job opportunities for working class men. We've heard these rumours that Steve Hilton, the Prime Minister's policy guru and number 10, is wanting to abolish maternity rights for women. We've seen 500,000 women suffering from having their pension age rise. Women aren't silly out there, you know. They know when the government is doing
You'll have another go in a minute, but the main point here...
Disadvantage them. OK,
the main point here is this is window dressing, and you've not exactly covered yourself in glory, because you go some of the way into thinking you've got to do more for women.
I mean, I will agree on one point, you know, with Angela, is that I think that the government needs to do much more, and that to a certain extent, you know, some of the items that was in that list do look a little bit like window dressing. But I think what is absolutely critical is that the government is now focusing on women. And as you say, women have come out poorly from the cuts. But that is not because they are women. It is because we have to make the cuts. And women represent the sort of jobs that actually are being cut. But that is the complex issue, is why are women in those jobs, not that they're being cut.
But George Osborne said that we were all going to be in this together, and this government promised the electorate before the election that this would be the most family-friendly government ever. And then,
what's that got to do with women? I don't understand.
What they've actually done is the opposite. They're aiming cuts and policies disadvantaging women more than anything.
But if there's more women, in public service jobs, and public service is going, they're going not because they're women, they're going because public service jobs are going. That's the argument.
Well, I think that it all started off pretty badly, didn't it? I mean, the first thing that this government did was actually to say that people who are accused of rape should have anonymity for no reason at all, and there had to be a cross-party campaign to stop that happening. And then they forgot to do an equality assessment of the budget, which was required by law. When we actually looked at George Osborne's choices and the choices that were made in last year's budget, we saw that women were affected 3 times more than men by the budget, and twice as much as men.
But I think, women
aren't silly, you know. They know when they're being disadvantaged.
But women certainly aren't silly, and I think the problem that we have at the moment is that women are being treated like second-class citizens, where all of a sudden, no, indeed not, by your previous government. The issue is that women need to be treated like grown-ups, and actually we need to put into place things that benefit women, not just because they are women, not equality for equality's sake. We need to make sure that women within their working life and their non-working life can fulfil their potential. And that is what is critical. So that's why when in that leak number 10 document we were talking about the child benefit being flexible, I think that's a very good thing. That is something that could be really developed.
All the government have actually done with child benefit, firstly, is freeze it, and secondly, they're going to take it off some women in a year and a half's time. Some families are going to lose that child benefit. They're cutting child tax credits.
Angela, there's no money.
Look, when you have to make deficit reduction choices, you have to grow as well as make cuts. This government is failing, the economy is flatlining, and what we've seen is a government that seems content to punish women and the way in which they have to live their lives.
I was struck by, you know, your attack on feminism there. Is it impossible to be a conservative and a feminist? Those two things cannot be.
I think the issue is that feminism nowadays, and it's I've been out on the streets talking to people about this. People see feminism in a very negative light. If I talk about what my beliefs are, I say I want to do something for women, I want to try and broaden the debate for women. You go and ask most normal, politically moderate people, will start rolling their eyes. They're expecting quotas. They're expecting special jobs for just women.
I thought
women
that Charlotte's
need to
attack on
earn
feminism was
their
astonishing.
Jobs. And I'm sorry, but men see feminism as an attack on them now.
But
we have to work collaboratively.
But is that then a kind of excuse? Because for Conservative ministers who have got a particular tone about this, perhaps, that Angela Eagle suggests, to say, well, we don't have to do anything because that's just the, quote, feminists and we don't represent them.
No, I think that's not true at all. I mean, I think the point is we need to broaden the debate. We need somebody else to speak up and say, look, on one side you have feminism who want 50% of all firefighters to be women, which is just a nonsense. And on the other side, we are talking about sensible, hard-working women who want to get on and have a successful working life.
Well, I've never heard feminism so ridiculously caricatured by somebody that seems to be making a bizarre point that I don't understand. Feminism is about empowering women and allowing them to have equal opportunities to fulfil their own potential and make choices.
But not
anymore. And it's choices that this government are taking away from women. I'm a proud feminist, and if the Conservative Party wants to think that feminism is something alien to it, then that's fine.
Yeah.
What we're talking about is empowering women, giving them choices, and allowing them to reach their full potential.
Right.
What David Willits was talking about was saying you can either have working class men having opportunities or women. That shouldn't be the choice.
Let you have the last word on that. In terms of tone, I mean, the thing the Prime Minister said, calm down, dear, which was some people took as a joke, some people took as offensive.
Don't forget what he said to Nadine Dorries last week, which was really offensive.
Exactly. I mean, do you think he's got the tone wrong?
I think there is always, in this circumstance, there should be improvements in tone. I think that that is widely recognised. But I do think that actually transferring the focus to women, there's a huge amount that can be done for the economy and for our society.
OK, we'll leave it there. Thank you.